Welcome to the Stealthy Automation Semifinals, where the 4 winning frameworks from last week's quarterfinals will compete for a spot in the finals, and we will find out which Python framework is the best at making Chromium browsers stealthy. For our competitors, we have Undetected-Chromedriver, Patchright-Python, SeleniumBase, and PyDoll. And in the spirit of the World Cup, which is going on right now, we're going to have some fun while we're at it. Here's a quick recap of what happened in the quarterfinals. In the first round, several automation frameworks had to bypass a series of bot detection challenges on major websites such as browserscan.net bot detection, bot.sanysoft.com, the GitLab sign-in page, which contained a Cloudflare interstitial captcha to get there, the Planet Minecraft sign-in page, which had a Cloudflare turnstile widget on it, and the pixelscan.net fingerprint check, which also had a series of challenges on it. And by the end of the first round, only Cloak Browser had been eliminated, and that was via the PixelScan bot detection check. In the second round, these automation frameworks that were still standing had to face the Datadome bot detection challenge on the Stop and Shop website, and that was able to eliminate NoDriver, ZenDriver, and Scrapling, and other automation frameworks such as PyDoll, Patchright, and SeleniumBase had all passed that challenge. However, Undetected-Chromedriver didn't get to face that challenge because we already had the 4 frameworks that we needed for the semifinals. So let's quickly run that challenge now to catch it back up to see if it actually deserves to be in the semifinals. We can see that it's running the script now, and it passed that bot detection check. So if we go over to that script, we can see what exactly was running there. So here's the Undetected-Chromedriver challenge that we just ran. And you can see it spun up a Chrome browser and then went to the Stop and Shop website, and it was able to bypass the bot detection there, which was a Datadome anti-bot system. And now we're ready for the semifinals. Here we go. For judging the semifinals, we'll be using the browser fingerprint test from Clearcoat Labs/audit, which analyzes the fingerprints of your web browser. If you run the audit on a regular human-controlled web browser that wasn't spun up by automation, you should get a 100 out of 100 score, showing that there are no signals that disagree with each other and no abnormalities, which basically would indicate that no automation was detected. And this would also be expected out of a Stealthy browser. However, if we run a test using Playwright, as seen here, where we're going to go there and then click the button, then we would expect that automation would be detected because regular Playwright has no stealth at all. So as you can see here, regular Playwright is going to the site, and it received a score of 96 out of 100, showing that abnormalities were detected and that it found automation. You can see that there are various checks that were not passed, such as these ones here, which reveal the automation, and there are plenty of other things that it scanned for, such as here, and it failed that check. So that's why we can safely say that Clearcoat may be a fair judge in this competition because it correctly identified a regular browser with 100 out of 100, and it gave a 96 out of 100 to an automation-controlled web browser. So now let's begin the semifinals. All right, let's get started with the scripts that we'll be running, which include the script for Undetected-Chromedriver, the script for SeleniumBase, the script for PyDoll, and the script for Patchright. Let's get going in the console. Here we go. Python Undetected-Chromedriver 1c.py. It's running the audit, and the score is 100 out of 100, showing that Undetected-Chromedriver was stealthy enough to pass the Clearcoat test. Up next, we have SeleniumBase, so let's run that. Python SeleniumBase 1c.py. And here we go, it's running the audit. And the final score is 100 out of 100, showing that SeleniumBase also passed the Clearcoat test. Up next, we've got Patchright. So let's do Python Patchright 1c.py. And here we go, it's running the audit. And, score of 99 out of 100, which means for sure it's getting a red card. and is eliminated from the competition. Let's see where it failed. All right, looks like it failed this check here with the outer window fitting within the screen, and looks like something was weird with the internal screen widths of that automation controlled browser. So I guess that's how it failed. All right, so that means Patchright is out of the competition. And finally, we've got PyDoll. So let's run that, Python PyDoll 1c.py, and let's see how it does with the clear coat test. And it scored 100 out of 100, which means it also advances in the competition. And that means we have a three-way tie for first place with these frameworks: Undetected-Chromedriver, SeleniumBase, and PyDoll, making it through to the next round with Patchright eliminated. Let's go back and analyze the Patchright script, because you can see here that we modified the executable path. Let's see what happens when we remove that line from there and then run it again. So we're going to run Python Patchright-1c, and it's going to perform the browser fingerprint test. And now you can see the score dropped from 99 to 98 because it was using the Chrome for testing browser. So the default browser for Patchright is actually less stealthy than the one I gave it. And just to make sure that the other arg that was there wasn't changing the score, I'm going to remove that and run it quickly again just to make sure that it's still at 98 and not affecting it. Here we go, running it, and the score is 98. So with default configuration, Patchright is actually less stealthy than if you give it the executable path to the Google Chrome instance for your computer, because otherwise it will use Chrome for testing, which is not as stealthy. If we look at some of the other frameworks that we were using, such as PyDoll, you can see here that it didn't need any special configuration, and with SeleniumBase, it also was fine without any special configuration. But now if we go to Undetected-Chromedriver 1c, you can see we added a lot of configuration in order to give it that 100%. Let's see if it's still stealthy if I don't specifically give it a browser executable path. So let's run the undetectable Chromedriver script. Python undetectable Chromedriver 1c.py, and see if that works. Uh-oh. Looks like it's having trouble if I don't specify the browser executable path. Not so good there. All right, so what we've learned is that undetectable Chromedriver might not go so well if you do not specifically give it a browser executable path. Let's see what happens if we skip that and the driver executable path as well. Let's run that. Python undetectable Chromedriver 1c, and it just fails. Oh wow, look at all this. So it's giving you a stack trace. This version of Chromedriver only supports Chrome version 151. So it looks like it can't auto-detect the Chromedriver version either. That's weird. So basically with undetectable Chromedriver, if you're not specifically giving it a driver executable path and a browser executable path, then it might not work at all. And there was also another line of configuration that I needed to add here for SSL. So if I remove that line and try to run it as is, let's see what happens. All right, so it looks like it didn't necessarily need that line. All right, so it still scored 100, but the main thing is that if you drop the driver executable path and the browser executable path and try to use default configuration, looks like you run into issues. So let's try that one more time just to verify that. Right away, there we go. Certificate verify failed. So it looks like it did need this line here without that. So depending on your configuration, you may need to change it if you want undetectable Chromedriver to work at all. So that's pretty much going to give it a yellow card for all these issues because it doesn't seem to work without special configuration added. All right, so if we add back all the configuration, Let's add that back in and run the script. You can see that it'll work normally and give you a score of 100 as we saw before. So that means because Undetected-Chromedriver is not so friendly without special configuration added to it, we're going to have to eliminate it from this competition and give us our two finalists, which are SeleniumBase and PyDoll. So that becomes our finalists in the semi-final competition for the stealthiest Python framework for making Chromium browsers stealthy. Let's check out the GitHub pages for our winning semi-finalists, which are SeleniumBase and PyDoll. With SeleniumBase, we have a GitHub repo that has 12,874 GitHub stars right now, and PyDoll is currently at 6,956. So SeleniumBase has a nice README with lots of documentation here that spans quite far. And here is the README for the PyDoll page, which maybe isn't as big. Let's check out the examples folders. So if we go into the SeleniumBase examples folder, we can see that there are lots of examples here, and there's a special CDP mode folder for all the stealthy examples, and there's over 100 of that. And if we go over to the PyDoll repo and go to the examples folder, it looks like there's just one example, a Cloudflare bypass. Okay. Well, I guess they don't have too many examples, which may explain a few things, but SeleniumBase has a lot of examples to check out. Let's check out the network dependence. So if you go to the dependency graph, you'll see that there are 2,666 public repos using SeleniumBase. And if we go to the network dependence for PyDoll, we'll see that there are 41 repos using that. Let's take a look at these repos by the download numbers. With SeleniumBase, it has been downloaded over 71 million times, and PyDoll has been downloaded 592,000 times. Okay, so quite a bit of a difference there, but that's essentially comparing SeleniumBase to PyDoll, and those are the two repos, and you can feel free to access those on GitHub at any time you want, but pretty much there's a lot of information there. And also note that with PyDoll, it only comes in an async format, whereas SeleniumBase can not only do the sync format, but it can also do an async format. So here is the pure CDP mode sync format, which does not use Selenium at all, and that's the format that was used for the competition. And here you can see the SeleniumBase async format, and it looks like there are a lot of different formats here you can try out. Most of these probably do not have stealth, as they're intended to be used with regular Selenium, but SeleniumBase has since evolved into various stealth modes like UC mode and CDP mode, and CDP mode does not use Selenium at all, so there are some differences there. Be sure to check out that page, which can be accessed from the help docs syntax formats MD file. And of course, there's probably some good documentation in PyDoll. If you go to the docs folder, you can see there's the English docs, and you can see the API deep dive and features list, which looks like it has a lot more documentation than the main README, and that is for PyDoll. And with SeleniumBase, there's lots of other help docs that can be found in the help docs folder that you can check out at your own time. All right, so that is the comparison of the repos between SeleniumBase and PyDoll, who are our winning semifinalists. And we look forward to the finals, if there is a finals, for this stealthy automation competition. But right now, at maximum strength, both frameworks are able to bypass any bot detection with just basic config without having to set any custom settings that the other frameworks had to set. All right, well, that concludes this presentation and the Stealthy Automation semifinals. I will see you all next time. happy automating, and enjoy the World Cup as it still goes on.